So our oldest of the four came to us in March of 25, and our youngest came in the fall. So they were found at different locations around Florida without their moms. So manatees are mammals just like you and I are, so that means they're going to need to nurse from their mom for the first about 2 years. So if a neonate or a newborn calf is found alone, they're not going to be able to survive without a little extra help. And so all four of them came in as newborns, so they were about 50 pounds or so when they first came in, and they needed round-the-clock care. So until they reached about 100 pounds, they were in our back baby pool getting care from us every 3 hours. We were getting into the pool, feeding them, and teaching them how to take a baby bottle. And then once they reached over 100 pounds, that's when they came out here to our main exhibit. And they've continued to thrive, do really great out here. We will keep our babies on formula until about a year or so. So like I said, our oldest of the group of four is going to be a year next month. So we're getting to the weaning stage of their rehabilitation. So about next month, we'll probably start cutting out more and more formula for them. They are eating solid foods. So manatees are herbivores. They're eating romaine lettuce, iceberg lettuce, green leaf lettuce, spinach leaves, all the delicious greens all throughout the day here in our main exhibit. Out in the wild, manatees are going to be eating about 60 different types of native Florida plant life. Anything green, these guys will eat. So they are definitely learning how to eat more and more and gaining lots of good weight. We do weigh them very regularly to make sure they're continuing to grow. They're sticking very close together as a group, going the opposite direction. Where you guys want them to go. Just a little wrong direction. So we'll give them a few minutes to see if they'd like to come back. So orphans are the only reason we have to rescue. This is just kind of what you're looking at in our main exhibit here. We do have 2 hospital pools that are in our back area back here, and that's where our most critical cases are. We have a handful of animals that have come in this week due to the cold. So as Florida waters dip really low in this January, February time frame, manatees need to be finding more water sources. Even though they're really large, they don't have a lot of body fat. They're not like a walrus that has a lot of blubber. So when the water temperatures dip low, like they did over the past couple of weeks, the manatees need to go into places like Renaico Springs. So places like the Spring State Park, the Street River, are really excellent locations for them during those winter months. So that's why last week you probably saw pictures of hundreds of manatees taken out in places like those springs. But unfortunately, if the manatees don't find that warm water, they do end up getting something called cold stress. So basically like frostbite. So we got a handful of animals in over the past couple of days from cold. So as we start to warm up, we'll start to see more and more kind of animals that didn't do well in those cold weather days that we had last week. The winter months is associated with that cold stress. We have a lot of animals up top as well from boat strikes. So manatees hang out in the intercoastal waterway. It's the same place where we like to go boating. They can swim in with freshwater and saltwater. And so hanging out there makes them susceptible to being hit by boats. So we always like to remind everybody to follow all those boating laws. We do have a handful of animals that are here due to being hit by boats. We get a lot of them in due to things like entanglement. So getting tangled up in things like fishing line and crab traps. So always remind everybody to definitely recycle that fishing line. There's something I call recycling centers around at places where you like to go fishing. And those that we got the attention of some of our orphans here, so we see them try to roll them over and give them that formula. That formula is a very specialized formula that our veterinarians have come up with over many years that we have been rehabilitating manatees. So the base of which is just hypoallergenic powdered baby formula that you use for a human. And then we add in plant-based soils because they are herbivores. So we've got things like coconut oil, everything nut oil, sustainable palm oil, and all of that comes together to create a really tasty-looking formula. And it also gives the fat content that they need. So manatee's milk is going to be really rich in fat. So we try to mimic that the best way that we can by adding in all of those foods. We want to see a newborn baby manatee gain about half a pound every other day. So when they're in their baby pool in the doctor, they are weighing them every other day, making sure that they're gaining weight, increasing the formula, making sure that they're doing well. Now, like I said, they're going to stay on formula until they're about a year old, so you're at the weaning process. So you're down to just 2 bottles a day. They first come in and just round the clock every 3 hours, just like having a It's a baby at home. But these guys have kind of come through that very critical stage and towards the end of their milk stage, but they still have some time to go before they are finished with their rehabilitation. So an orphan baby manatee needs to be at least 600 pounds before those government agencies think they'll be big enough and strong enough to be returned back down. So 600 pounds is actually around 3 or 4 years old. So these little ones that you see are under 200 pounds, so they've got a lot of growing to go before it's time for them to be returned back out. Yeah, they will be returned back out during the winter months in those warm water spots that I was talking about. So places like Crystal River, Blue Springs, anywhere where it's nice and warm during those winter months to really show them this is where you need to be once those temperatures stay really low. It's a great opportunity to kind of teach them the appropriate things that they should be doing. So there are 4 of them. We have 3 boys and 1 girl. They're going to be continuing to get their formula. I'm going to go around the front and be able to answer any questions that you guys might have about them as they're finishing up drinking the milk. We've also got some lettuce that we're going to be feeding out. My other coworker is prepping in the back, so you'll be able to see everybody coming in and eating. If you guys have gone downstairs, so if you do that, that's a great opportunity to stay kind of behind those themselves, especially if you're going to definitely recycle that. Remember, there are things you can do to help manatees stop the wild. Remember, follow all those coding laws. Take everything home with you. Any kind of plastic, any fishing line. You see all sorts of treatment and injections.
Isn't it amazing to see these rescue manatees enjoying their care, food, and peaceful swim time? Every one of these sweet manatees has a story, and it's a strong reminder of how important rescue, rehabilitation, and conservation work really are. I hope you enjoyed this special look at the manatees here at SeaWorld Orlando. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe for more fun travel adventures, and come along for more wish you were here moments from Florida and beyond. And as you keep watching these beautiful manatees swim and snack, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What animal or park experience should I share next? Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next adventure.